What is fear? Fear, by its very definition, is an emotional response to a perceived threat. It's an internal reaction that signals danger or discomfort. From the earliest days of humanity, fear has been an essential survival mechanism, alerting us to potential risks and ensuring we take steps to avoid harm. Back in the days when humans lived in caves, fear was what helped them stay alive. It warned them of predators, of harsh weather, of unknown dangers lurking in the shadows. But here's the thing, we are no longer in those primitive days. Yet, fear still grips us. It may not be the fear of a wild animal outside the cave door anymore, but it is still a potent force. Now, fear takes on many forms: fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of success, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown. It has evolved with us, shape-shifted to become more psychological than physical. But it remains just as crippling. Fear, if allowed, will stop you from living your life. And let me say this, fear in itself is not your enemy. It's your response to fear that defines whether it will be a prison or a tool. The power of fear. Now let's talk about the power fear holds. Why does fear seem to take control of our lives at times? It's because fear plays directly into our most basic instincts. It feeds on the unknown and thrives on uncertainty. The human mind is naturally programmed to avoid pain and seek pleasure, and fear taps into this mechanism. Fear whispers in your ear, what if I'm not good enough? What if I fail? What if they reject me? What if things don't work out? These whispers grow louder over time if left unchecked. And eventually they become deafening, overshadowing your dreams, your desires, and your purpose. But listen closely to what I'm about to say. Fear can only hold power over you if you let it. Fear is like a shadow. It may loom large, but it's not solid. It can't touch you unless you give it substance. It's your belief in fear that gives it strength. Fear, the greatest obstacle to progress. Fear is the single most significant obstacle to progress. Think about it for a moment. How many dreams have died because of fear? How many ideas have gone unrealized because someone was too afraid to act? How many businesses were never started? How many relationships were never formed? How many talents remained untapped? Fear is the invisible chain that binds so many to mediocrity. It keeps people stuck in jobs they hate, relationships that don't serve them, and lifestyles that are less than they deserve. Fear makes people settle. It convinces them that the status quo is safer than the unknown, that staying in their comfort zone is better than risking failure. But here's a truth you need to hear today. Nothing grows in the comfort zone. Progress, innovation, and success require stepping into the unknown. They require taking risks. They require facing fear head on. Fear is not a wall meant to keep you out. It's a hurdle meant to be jumped over. It's a test meant to be passed. It's a mirror meant to reflect what you need to conquer within yourself. The illusion of fear. Now I want to share a revelation with you. Fear is an illusion. Let that sink in for a moment. Fear is not real. It exists only in your mind. It's a mental construct, a projection of your thoughts into the future. Fear is not happening in the present. It's a speculation about what might happen. Fear is rooted in uncertainty, and uncertainty is a product of the unknown. But let me tell you this, the unknown is not your enemy. The unknown is the birthplace of possibility. The unknown is where miracles happen, where growth occurs, and where you discover who you truly are. Think about it. When you were a child, the world was unknown to you. You didn't know how to walk, but you tried. You didn't know how to talk, but you learned. You didn't know anything about the world, but you explored it with curiosity and wonder. You were not paralyzed by fear then, because fear is learned. Fear is taught. Somewhere along the way, as we grow older, we learn to fear. We are conditioned to believe that failure is something to avoid at all costs. We are taught to play it safe, to follow the rules, to stay in line. We are taught that it's better to avoid risks than to embrace the unknown. But what if we unlearn this? What if we rewired our minds to see fear for what it really is, an illusion, a barrier made of smoke and mirrors? How to face your fears. So how do we face our fears? How do we break free from the chains that hold us back? Acknowledge your fears. The first step in facing your fears is to acknowledge them. Don't run from them. Don't pretend they don't exist. Look your fears in the eye and name them. Fear loses much of its power when you bring it into the light. What are you afraid of? failure, rejection. The unknown, write it down. Speak it out loud. When you do, you take control. You are no longer a victim of fear. You are its master. Change your relationship with fear. Remember, fear is not your enemy. Fear is not here to destroy you. Fear is here to help you grow. It's here to push you beyond your limits. When you feel fear, it's a signal that you are stepping outside of your comfort zone. And that's where growth happens. Change your perspective on fear. Instead of seeing it as a threat, see it as an opportunity. Instead of running from it, lean into it. Embrace it. Use it as fuel to propel you forward. Take action despite fear. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is action in the face of fear. If you wait for fear to disappear before you act, you'll be waiting forever. You must learn to take action despite fear. You must move forward even when you're scared. Every time you face your fear and take action, fear loses its grip on you. You prove to yourself that you are stronger than your fears. You build confidence. You build resilience. And eventually, what once terrified you will seem insignificant. Focus on the present moment. Fear thrives in the future. It's based on what might happen, on possibilities that may never come to pass. The antidote to fear is to focus on the present moment. Ground yourself in the here and now. When you're fully present, fear loses its power. You realize that in this moment you are safe. In this moment you are capable. In this moment you have everything you need. Visualize success. One of the most powerful tools to overcome fear is visualization. Instead of focusing on the worst case scenario, focus on the best case scenario. Visualize yourself succeeding. See yourself conquering your fears, achieving your goals, and living your dreams. The mind is incredibly powerful. When you visualize the success, you train your brain to believe that success is possible. You create a mental blueprint that guides you toward your desired outcome. Surround yourself with positivity. Fear feeds on negativity. It thrives in environments filled with doubt, criticism, and pessimism. If you want to overcome your fears, you need to surround yourself with positivity. Surround yourself with people who believe in you, who encourage you, and who inspire you to be your best self. Your environment matters. If you're constantly surrounded by negativity, it will be much harder to face your fears. But when you're surrounded by positivity, by people who lift you up, you'll find the strength to move forward. Take small steps. Facing your fears doesn't always mean taking massive leaps. Sometimes it's about taking small steps in the right direction. Break your fears down into manageable pieces. Take one step at a time. Each small victory builds momentum. Each small step brings you closer to your goal. And before you know it, you'll have conquered the very thing that once held you back. Trust the process. Finally, trust the process. Understand that fear is a natural part of the journey. It's not something to be avoided or eliminated entirely. It's something to be embraced and worked through. Trust that everything you need to overcome your fears is already within you. Trust that you are capable, that you are strong, and that you are worthy of success. The rewards of facing your fears. When you face your fears, something incredible happens. You unlock your true potential. You tap into a reservoir of strength, courage, and resilience that you didn't even know you had. You become unstoppable. Facing your fears is not just about overcoming obstacles. It's about discovering who you truly are. It's about stepping into your power and realizing that you are capable of so much more than you ever imagined. When you face your fears, you break free from the limitations that have been holding you back. You step into a new reality where anything is possible. You open the door to new opportunities, new experiences, and new levels of success. The rewards of facing your fears are immense. You gain confidence. You gain clarity. You gain a sense of purpose. You start living a life that is aligned with your true potential. And here's the most beautiful part. When you face your fears, you inspire others to do the same. You become a beacon of light for those who are still trapped in the darkness of fear. You show them that it's possible to overcome, to rise above, and to live a life of freedom and fulfillment. Fear is a signpost. I want you to reframe the way you think about fear. Instead of seeing it as a stop sign, see it as a signpost. Fear is pointing you in the direction of your growth. It's showing you where you need to go. Fear is a signal that you're about to do something significant, something that will stretch you and help you grow. It's a sign that you are on the verge of a breakthrough. So instead of avoiding fear, follow it. Let it guide you toward your destiny. When you feel fear, ask yourself, what is this fear trying to teach me? What is this fear showing me about myself? What is this fear asking me to overcome? Fear is not your enemy. Fear is your teacher. Fear and faith. Fear and faith cannot coexist. Fear is rooted in doubt, while faith is rooted in belief. Fear is focused on what could go wrong, while faith is focused on what could go right. Fear looks at the obstacles, while faith looks at the possibilities. If you want to face your fears, you must cultivate faith. You must believe in yourself, in your abilities, and in your purpose. You must have faith that everything you desire is within reach, and that you have the power to overcome any obstacle that stands in your way. Faith is not about being certain of the outcome. It's about being certain of your ability to handle whatever comes your way. It's about trusting that you have the strength, the courage, and the resilience to rise above your fears and achieve your goals. Faith is the antidote to fear. When you have faith, fear loses its grip on you. You realize that fear is nothing more than a shadow, and you have the power to walk through it. Fear of failure. One of the most common fears that people face is the fear of failure. We live in a world that glorifies success and shames failure. But here's the truth, failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is a part of success. You cannot succeed without failing. Every successful person you admire has failed multiple times. Failure is a necessary stepping stone on the path to success. It's through failure that we learn, that we grow, and that we become better. So, if you're afraid of failing, I want you to change your perspective. Instead of seeing failure as something to avoid, see it as something to embrace. Failure is not a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of your effort. It's proof that you are trying, that you are putting yourself out there, and that you are taking steps toward your dreams. The only real failure is not trying at all. When you face your fears and take action, regardless of the outcome, you are already succeeding. You are succeeding because you are moving forward, because you are growing, and because you are becoming the person you were meant to be. Fear of rejection. Another common fear is the fear of rejection. We are social beings and we crave acceptance. We want to be liked, to be loved, and to belong. But sometimes the fear of rejection becomes so overwhelming that it stops us from pursuing our dreams. We become afraid to put ourselves out there, to take risks, and to express our true selves. But here's the truth, rejection is not a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of someone else's perspective. Rejection is not a failure. It's simply a redirection. If you are rejected, it doesn't mean you are not good enough. It doesn't mean you are not worthy. It simply means that the opportunity, the person or the situation was not right for you. Rejection is a part of life, and it's something that we all face at some point. But if you let the fear of rejection control you, you will miss out on so many opportunities. You will never know what could have been if you don't take the risk to face your fears and live your life. I want you to imagine what your life would be like if you faced your fears. Imagine the freedom you would feel, the opportunities you would embrace, and the dreams you would pursue. Fear is not meant to be a prison. It's meant to be a guide. When you face your fears, you break free from the limitations that have been holding you back. You step into a life of purpose, of passion, and of possibility. When you face your fears, you take control of your life. You stop letting fear dictate your decisions, your actions, and your futures. You become the master of your destiny. So I challenge you today to face your fears, to step outside of your comfort zone, to embrace the unknown, to take risks, to pursue your dreams with passion and with courage. You have everything you need within you to overcome your fears. You are stronger than you think, braver than you believe, and more capable than you realize. Don't let fear hold you back any longer. The life you desire is on the other side of fear. The dreams you've been waiting for are within your grasp. But you must be willing to face your fears, to reach out the road of fear and purpose. Fear and purpose are intricately linked. In fact, the closer you get to fulfilling your purpose, the more fear you may experience. This is because purpose often requires us to step into the unknown, to do things we've never done before, and to take risks we've never taken. Purpose requires us to step out on faith, to trust that we are capable of achieving great things even when we can't see the full picture. Let me tell you something powerful. Fear is often an indicator that you are on the right path. The things that scare you the most are often the things that are most aligned with your purpose. When you feel fear rising within you, instead of retreating, ask yourself, what is this fear trying to tell me? Many times, the very thing we are most afraid of is the thing we are called to do. We fear public speaking, yet deep down we have a message to share with the world. We fear starting that business, yet inside we have an entrepreneurial spirit that is dying to be unleashed. We fear rejection, but our purpose involves connecting with others and building relationships. Fear is a signpost pointing you toward your destiny. Don't ignore it. Don't run from it. Use it as a guide to lead you toward your purpose.